What's good, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl KD, and we back with another video. Today we're gonna be reacting to when pastors go wrong. And let's be honest, these days and times you don't know who to trust in the church. I am a church kid, I'm a preacher's kid. My stepdad was a preacher, but I do know there are a lot of really bad preachers out here in the world. So today we're going to be reacting to that, and we're gonna get into it right after this intro.
So my lyrics been a long time waiting for you, and then you push me away. Painkillers for breakfast, I ain't feeling the day. I'm fucking geeked up, but I tell her I'm okay.
Alright, you guys, we're back. So the title of this video is called "She's the Pastor That Focused on Scamming Young People." So obviously this is a young people church. Obviously this is a young folks church, and whoever this pastor is was scamming the young folks. So let's try to get into this video.
Nation is an evangelical church in London. They focus on saving and serving at-risk youth in the community, and by that we mean scamming and lying to at-risk youth. Crooked pastors such as Mariam Mbula and founder Tobi Adegboyega have been at the center of controversy since the church's inception. But still, teenagers and millennials give money to them in hopes of turning their life around. The church pastors even forced their followers to sell blood for donation money. Officially named the Salvation Proclaimers Anointed Church.
Wait, you want me to sell my blood? My blood that I need to live so that I can pay for your church? Watch these people be having like multi-million-dollar mansions, and they gonna have something crazy rides and things like that, and then everybody else is suffering in the process. Don't get me started.
Nation first appeared in 2008. Created by Pastor Tobi Adegboyega, the church only had 3 members.
Lopsided head ass.
SPAC is based in South London and is known for its direct approach to getting criminals off the streets by inviting gang members to their services and asking them to drop their weapons. These tactics gained them the media attention needed to grow their church. SPAC continued its mission with a particular target in mind: people under 30 who lived in dangerous areas of London.
Oh, Lord.
SPAC became a popular community outreach program that received praise from the media and even...
I just want to say, look at all those beautiful black people. Look at all those beautiful black people. Just look like they just happy and getting scammed. Just beautiful black folks getting scammed. It's so sad, bro. What the heck? I will say, though, the whole giving up your guns thing, I think it's a good, strategic way of getting guns off the streets. I love those programs. But okay, let's just keep going.
Community outreach program that received praise from the media and even the Metropolitan Police. SPAC operates in neighborhoods with high crime rates and a population consisting of primarily black millennials. Their weapon exchange program got the attention of both the Conservative and Labour parties. The program asked former gang members to hand over their weapons, which SPAC pastors then gave to the London police. The church has also found creative ways to attract more people to their services. SPAC formed rap and R&B groups to perform and sing songs about salvation and Jesus. However, the leaders of those groups would soon become the loudest voices speaking.
So you got to appeal to the young folks. The best way to appeal to the young folks is get down to their level. Go out to where they are and reach them. And that's basically what they did. They went with today's generation, which is rap, R&B genres, and they used that to create songs about, God and salvation, and that's how they pulled all these young folks in. Because there's very few churches that will, conform and go down to the young folks and get them in. So that's one way that they conformed.
Out against SPAC. Before the SPAC controversy became mainstream, they grew their...
What's it called, SPAC?
Less than 300 in 2016 to 2,000 in 2020. SPAC has taken its time to get to know its congregation and exploits the lavish lifestyles of its pastors to lure more black millennials to their church. The pastors dress in expensive clothes, wear high-end jewelry.
I told you that they were going to be dressing in like crazy clothes. This man is dressed he is Fendi down, honey. She obviously has on probably some designer clothes, and they're driving a Lamborghini with a license plate. Pastor, what the heck, bro? What? Like, I don't think pastors should live like poor or anything like that. I think that they I don't have an issue with pastors profiting from the church. It's when you overdo it and your congregation itself is lacking while you out here riding Bentley trucks and flying private jets and you got your own airport. There is a pastor who has his own airport here in Texas and like 6 jets. Why you need that, I don't know. But your congregation is struggling while you living it up. What kind of crap is that?
Drive fancy cars. To the public, SPAC's mission seemed well intentioned. According to the people they've scammed, there is a lot to be discovered. The church faces many accusations of misusing funds and impersonating its members to open bank accounts on their behalf. One
What?
specific case regarding a 19-year-old woman named Lovis stands out. The girl, who was staying at one of the church's youth houses, said SPAC took out a £5,000 bank loan in her name without her even knowing about it. SPAC used
What? A $5,000 pound. Now, I don't know what that is in American money. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Five. What is 5,000 pounds in American money? Let's see. That's 6,000. Oh, y'all can't see it. But basically, that is $6,156.75 in the U.S. money. He took out almost a $7,000 loan in this young lady's name without her consent. Boy, if you don't get your what? What you thought this boy? Sir, pastor, have several seats, have several pews in this situation. Have several pews because we will have to fight. We're gonna have to fight.
the £5,000 to create a company on her behalf, from which they transferred the money to a different set of companies owned by SPAC pastors. When she confronted the pastors, they told her it was for the greater good and that the money will buy a bigger youth house. Of course, as expected, Lovis would have to deal with the loan payments herself, which added up to £10,000.
Bro, not only did you take out a loan in this girl's name, but then you expect her to make the payments. And like, I don't know if people really know much about loans. I know people use them, I've used them or whatever, but like you have to tack on, like, these banks and these loan companies tack on heavy interest. So her loan went from $6,000 to $10,000 that she has to pay back. What kind of crap is that, bro? Like, you are a horrible human being. Horrible. That is terrible. What the heck? All for you to live lavishly. You know what?
Sadly, nobody knows what happened to the money afterward.
Exactly.
Weren't enough. Some people have even come
You gonna give me some receipts.
forced to take out a universal credit, a type of welfare in the UK, only to get half the money. There have been reports of sign-up days in which up to 50 young people would sign up to get the government benefit. Once approved, SPAC would take half the money. They targeted
bet.
vulnerable young people to gain their trust before asking them for ridiculous amounts of money. If the person said they wouldn't be able to get that money, the church would suggest a bank loan. Pastor Samuel Akokia asked a young man to take out a £20,000 loan to fund an investment opportunity. When the man became suspicious and asked for proof, Akokia became angry and asked if he was
I bet he
doubting
did.
the man of God. Pastor
Heck yeah, I'm doubting the man of God. You ain't God, so I'm doubting you. The hell? Hell yeah, I'm doubting you. What you talking about? Like, you just asked me to go out and take a $20,000 loan. I need receipts. First of all, I'm not finna do it. I need receipts on where my money is going. Show me the receipts. Somebody cue Whitney Houston. Show me the receipts.
I want to see the receipts. I want to see the receipts.
Show me the receipts, baby, because there is no way on God's green earth I'm finna just go out and get a $20,000 loan and give it to you, no questions asked. What you thought this was? I don't care if you're a man of God or not. If you ain't showing me where it's going, I ain't doing it.
Bitch. The door.
You got me messed up, boy. Let me stop getting so hostile. Let me chill.
and high leaders within the church would pressure their followers to fork over more money. When it didn't work, SPAC just took the money anyway. They had all of the bank information they needed to apply for loans in their followers' names. One young man left the church after he was scammed out of £2,000, but then received a letter in the mail saying he'd been accepted for a £5,000 loan. The biggest project funded by SPAC was their trap houses. As confusing as the name may be, trap homes were meant to save young gang members from violence in the streets. TRAP stood for Take Risks and Prosper. a way to change the narratives and lives of at-risk SPAC members. In these houses, young people live close to pastors in the church to keep them away from crime.
Lord.
The media reported on the project and praised how it allowed young black people to get out of gangs and violence. Many of the kids even said they would be...
I just want to go on record here. I know this is more related to African American culture, but there are more than just African Americans in gangs. Might be a high percentage, but there are more than just African Americans in gangs. I just want to leave that little bit of information right there.
dead if it weren't for the trap house. Members of the British Parliament called these houses a holistic solution to the rise of fatal knife crimes in London. But the stories coming out of these houses were far from a fairy tale. Reports of mistreatment within the houses surfaced, with a specific case of a 16-year-old girl stating she was mistreated in one of the trap houses. Another incident where a young boy said he had been whipped with a belt while a pastor recited some Bible verses was quickly dismissed by the church as a joke. One trap house was run by Mariam, mbula, the queen bee of SPAC scams.
First of all, she looked like she don't even care already. I don't even know what this interview is about, but she already looked like she don't even care. Like, she looked like she's whatever. Like, I'm just sitting pretty with my nice fancy Fendi, Louis Gucci, and Prada, and my Lamborghini or whatever the hell else they drive. Like, got the freshest, what is that? Like, maybe a 20-inch Peruvian style wig. Like, stop. You don't care, bro. You do not care. Stop. I'm so done with these mega church pastors, bro.
She ran her trap house strictly and pressured young women into handing over all their personal and financial information. She said,
You got me.
Managing their accounts, and asked them to take out £5,000 loans to keep the church's mission going. Given the negative attention the trap houses were receiving.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just so much to break down in this video. My first question is, how old are these kids if they're just able to take out loans? Like, I don't know how it works in London. I know here in America, you have to have a bank account. I think you have to be like 18 or so to take out a loan or something like that. Show proof of income and things like that. So these kids may or may not have jobs. Again, I don't know how the loan process works in America. But all these kids look super young. I don't know if these are stock images or like actual images of children that are a part of this church, the SPAC church. Like, but like, you are literally taking advantage of young kids, and then you wonder why young kids don't trust the church. Like, you wonder why young kids run from the church, because then you have preachers like this, and they're always the bigger preachers, the ones you see more often, not like the smaller churches where you see, you know, in your friendly neighborhood corner, in the friendly neighborhoods that you live in. Like, it's always the bigger ones that's always up in the forefront. So like your Creflo Dollars, your Joel Osteens, your rest in peace, but your Eddie Longs and things like that are these particular pastors. Like, those are the people you see first. And because they're so money hungry, it chases people away from the church, and why it's so hard for people to get into the church, bro. It's y'all, can y'all tell I've had some bad church experiences? Like, I love the Lord. The Lord, he's first in my life and everything. But I've had some really, really, really bad church experiences in my life. And it's just like, I hate seeing people use God and spirituality to scam people for money so that they can live the high life. Like, what kind of stuff is that, bro? Like, what?
Nation quickly, publicly distanced itself from the project, saying they were independently run houses. However, they were clearly promoting them as SPAC safe houses all over social media. One of the most notorious pastors of the nation is Mariam Mbula, known also as Mariam Mola, among other aliases. Mbula has a laundry list of fraud convictions in the UK, Spain, and Belgium. She had been busted while running a gang of thieves luxury fashion brands all over Europe. By age 26, she had already been to jail 5 separate times. If Mbula is known for something other than her convictions, it's the way she's chosen to share her life story on social media. During her last stint in prison, she was 8 months pregnant. Forced to give birth in jail, she used the story to advertise a healed persona, making it seem like she'd turned her life around. Her story was even featured on some of the UK's most watched talk shows. She decided to become a mentor for women, using her embellished life story to create yet another fraudulent business. Mentor Matcher. People saw her as a philanthropist. Really, she used her way with words to persuade women into investing in her company, scamming people along the way. Some victims claim she took between £77,000 to £100,000. Many women opened up about being scammed by Mbula. Her response was to stay quiet. It's clear she has become an expert.
Because what can you say? Honestly, like what could you really possibly say to combat what you're doing, bro, when it's so obvious? And I feel bad for these people. It's like part of me feels bad and part of me doesn't, because it has to be somebody speaking out and saying that what she's doing isn't legitimate, and people are still investing their money. They're like, oh, whatever. Like we don't trust you. Shush. This is the pastor. The pastor would never. No. Continue.
And resurfacing with a whole new personality, which is what she did with SPAC Nation. She reappeared as an ordained minister of the church and started preaching the prosperity gospel, using her life story as the main attraction. As expected, mbula didn't change that much. This time, she used the structure SPAC was providing to profit from vulnerable women. Many of her victims said they were impressed when they first met her, given her lavish lifestyle that included expensive clothes and dinners at top-notch restaurants in London. She targeted young.
Okay, so here's the issue, right? And it's kind of like, I've been doing a lot of studying of cults. No, I'm not in a cult. No, I don't want to be in a cult, but I just been doing a lot of cult studies. But she gives off this persona. I don't know, she gives off this very strong persona. Like, she's a very pretty lady. She's a very attractive lady. And her story, and I'm gonna put story in air quotes because we don't know if it's real or not, it's relatable. Like, here she is from out the slum. She done made a way for herself, started all these businesses, and now she's a ordained preacher, living the best, trying to live a better lifestyle. And with that being said, look at what God did for me. I'm rolling around in this and that, and I'm wearing this name brand and this name brand, and you can do it too. Like, don't worry, as long as you praise God and you donate, God is gonna bless you too. Give more, give your best to God, and we'll do, and God is gonna bless you abundantly 10 times fold. Doesn't that make you want to give? You like, I can, if she did it, I can do it too. Let me go ahead and lay this Skrilla out on a church pan or however they collect their money, and I can be just like her. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. Come on now. Come on, come on, come on. Like I said, it's so easy. I messed up my camera trying to mess with y'all. It's so easy to scam in the church as long as you have a convincing persona and an inviting face. Good to go. I don't know, bro. It's
Vulnerable women with good credit scores or who had not taken out loans in the past. Then she forced them to get money and give it to her. Since most of the girls were staying in her safe house, Mariam had control over them. Along with high leaders from SPAC Nation, she used their power to force young people into doing whatever they could to give them more money. To top it off, she never kept up with loan payments, letting the brunt of the money fall on her victims. While she was off partying and living in luxury, the at-risk millennials she was supposed to be helping were left to handle the banks. SPAC Nation has become a clever organization when it comes to luring young people into its ranks, and mbula isn't the only one doing it. Knowing how gullible a young person from an impoverished background can be, SPAC pastors created novelty schemes to secure more fraudulent loans. On one occasion, 28-year-old Toy, a churchgoer, was pressured by her pastor, George Jumbo, to get a £5,000 loan. She had only met him a few months prior. He even sent her a video waving a large wad of cash stemming from his successful crypto trading business. Toy, trusting his guidance, and decided to invest in his business using money from multiple loans, even allowing him to apply for a loan on her behalf. At the time, the loans fell through, but she'd already handed over all of her personal information to Jumbo. Then, 2 years later, she received...
What in your right mind would make you want to hand over your banking information? Man, my girl don't even have my banking information. You just giving it to total strangers. You couldn't tell me the Lord told you to do that. Like, you are asking to be robbed, giving over your bank information to strangers. You don't know them people from a can of paint. Anybody can claim to be a man of God. Like, literally anyone can claim to be a man of God, and they ain't nothing godly about them. The only thing holy is they socks. You feel me? Like, you are asking to be robbed. Like, and I feel for you because you're a victim. Unfortunately, you were vulnerable enough and you are a victim. But that really sucks. Like, that really, really sucks.
Letters stating she'd been approved for a loan she knew nothing about. The letters and loans kept coming in.
I
Soon
bet.
Jumbo had acquired more than 10,000 pounds of loans in her name. Another scheme included signing up for universal credit. SPAC used their trap houses as the scene for large-scale sign-ups. They had an actual universal credit representative take applications and formed a line of about 50 young people to enlist in the government program. They would hand over their passports and IDs and were told their names would not appear in the official data. So it was
Hell no.
like they hadn't even been enrolled. Some members found themselves in 1,000 pounds worth of debt, even when they were told they wouldn't have to pay anything. SPAC members would even use WhatsApp and Snapchat to pressure victims into taking loans as soon as possible. But this wasn't enough for SPAC Nation. Apparently, the church went as far as asking youngsters to donate blood for medical trials. SPAC members were paid £100 to donate blood for medical trials, which they'd turn around.
It's the blood donations for me. Like, loans is already bad because that's on your credit, and them little 3 digits for your credit scores mean everything in this world. But it's the blood donation for me. Like, oh, you ain't got it? You can't get no loans? No problem. Give your blood. Do everything you have to do to put money into this church. When a church is solely focused on money, I don't care what type of outreach programs and things like that they are putting out here, bruh. When they are so focused is, what did they call it? Prosperity preaching. Leave. If you don't get nothing else from this video, leave. They are only in it. Most of them are only in it for the money. It's called prosperity preaching. You give, you prosper. The more you give, the more you prosper. Like, that's not how God works. God does not work like that. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, it's always taught that we're only supposed to give 10%. If you want to give that, then you give that. That's biblical. But if they're asking for more and ask you to do the outlandish things like give up your banking information, personal information, draw blood, leave. Leave, y'all, leave. I cannot preach this enough. Leave. Please.
And hand over to their pastors. Known as Bleeding for Seed, the church considered the blood money a donation offering from
literally blood money.
Mbula, one of the pastors in charge of the scheme, pressured youngsters via WhatsApp, actively asking them for their seed. As the public became more aware of SPAC Nation's tactics, a group of victims banded together to raise their voices over the injustices they went through in the church. Let the Youngsters Go is a group of former churchgoers and workers who claim that SPAC preachers exploited them for money. They actively campaigned for young SPAC members to be set free from the church and any wrongful debt acquired while a member. One of the group's members, Take Mad Max Mukuna, who had joined SPAC back in 2018 and remained there for 10 months, fronts the church's rap group and feels responsible for so many people getting involved with it. When in church, Mukuna says he started having disagreements with Pastor Tobi about his lyrics. He wanted to leave, but felt pressured to stay. Now he sees a lot of people coming out of the church and speaking up against it. On one occasion, there was a public clash between the group and SPAC members, which had to be dismantled by the police, effectively protecting SPAC from the attack. Their financial schemes were pretty blunt. They put a lot of emphasis on donation, forcing people to donate seed money if they wanted to continue to come to their services. A significant part of
I gotta donate. Bro, it's a fee at the door to go to the church. That's what you're telling me right now? I gotta you charging me an entry fee? It's a door fee to get into the church. I'm not gonna do this. Y'all, let's get through this video because I'm not gonna do this.
Their service revolved around cash, getting it, motivating others to give it, and investing it. Some victims felt they were pressured to give the church money, and because of the prosperity preachings, they thought they'd get their money back tenfold. At one point, Pastor Tobi was reported to asking specific amounts of money through an
And look at him.
There would be an envelope that asked for a £200 minimum donation. While there have been several allegations of fraud since 2019, it wasn't until 2020 that the Metropolitan Police started investigating SPAC Nation.
Good.
According to the media, there are at least 20 active cases that authorities are looking into. SPAC Nation has denied these allegations, stating they have a robust system to handle all their complaints and that they would not respond to any of the individual claims about their
I bet.
According to SPAC, They cannot monitor what each pastor or leader does. As of 2020, Pastor Tobi has stepped down from the newly named Annexation Church. He was replaced by pastors Dami Balogun and Samuel Akohia, who've racked up numerous fraud claims against them. While Pastor Tobi published a press release saying he was leaving, it was unclear whether he was honest about it because he said he would still be leading the church publicly. On top of this, 2 people involved with the church have been arrested on fraud allegations.
As they should.
2020. Police claim these charges are targeted at the pastors, not the organization. As for Mariam and Mbula, she's still free. Although she is part of the ongoing investigation, there's no clear sign she's stopped her scamming. No stint in prison is enough to turn Mariam from her scamming ways. So one question remains. Will she ever be caught? Click here to watch one of these next videos.
All right, y'all. We made it through this video. I know this video is only a 12-minute video, but we made it. We doubled it, basically. But I just got so much stuff to say about this. Like, it's so crazy. Like, and if they ever actually get caught, I would genuinely be surprised. Like, I would genuinely be surprised because they've been doing it for so long. Of course, they're not going to speak on anything. You know, they're not going to come out on the allegations because they don't want to get themselves caught up. You know, it's easy. Like, I can ask you a certain question, I can catch you up in your statements, and I can be like, oh, okay, it's something fishy going on here. So rather than go through that, they just like vow silence. Anyway, y'all, protect your peace, protect your pocket and your wallets. Go to God for yourself. That's my best advice. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there's nothing wrong with going to the church, but find you a good church that's not dangling things in your face and then telling you to pay money to come in and experience those things. That's not a legitimate church, y'all. With that being said, that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.